Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what is going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is the State of Economics 101, episode 11, guys. And we're going to come at you with the good, the bad, and the ugly about money. Yo, let's dig into some of this stuff, right? So, what is going on, all you awesome people out there? I see we got Crypto Bedell up in his house, dropping that F. Hey! We got Golden Wolf. We got a Budweiser truck sliding on in. These guys are popping on in. If you could, just kindly smash that lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, especially if you're new here, guys. You know what to do. You know the drill. What's going on, people? Hopefully, you guys are having a great hump day. Yeah. What's going on, Rich? What's up? What's up? So I hope everybody is having a wonderful day, midweek. It's almost time for the weekend. You got that midweek vibe where you're like, oh God, I'm ready to go home and just relax, you know. So as you guys are hopefully on your way home or already at home, let's go ahead and slide into some of today's topics. Yo. So let's go ahead and just drop right into one of my favorite stuff here, guys, TradingView. It is free. It's free tools that you guys can use also. So this is not exclusive to me. I don't even have a paid account on here. Let me be honest with that one. I'm cheap, bro. If I can get tools that'll help me make better decisions and I don't have to pay for them and they're good tools, I'm cool with that. I don't need to be a day trader looking for that perfect entry point to buying anything. I just want good tools. So this is a free, good tool for you guys to kind of come at. It's not going to have any real big charts for you to, indicators that you're going to be able to look at through a non-paid account. But there are other ways to getting those perks. If you were part of DCA Adventure, my man Jay over there, or Variant, he's got a DCA trading script, and if you were in that Patreon, you can get access to something like that. I do have access to that on my own charts because Jay is a friend of mine. Much love to that man. That man has gone through enough. I mean, he's out in Ohio, and train thing, his house burnt down, his daughter got into a car accident. I mean, like, his life went from awesome to wow, and like overnight. Holy cow. So what up, Automatic Beats? So let's go ahead and just roll right on into this. So this is basically stock market stuff. They do also integrate with cryptocurrencies on here too, is the other reason why I use this, is that I get to look at different trading pairs and different exchanges and seeing where the arbitrage really rests at. So here is the S&P 500. We're down almost 1.75%. NASDAQ 100 down 1.25%. Bitcoin right now as it stands is down 3.5%. Dollar index is down almost a full point, guys. That's huge. That means a whole lot of instability coming in. And that has to do with what Jerome Powell just did, guys. I mean, just did. We'll get into that one. So we have the Dow Jones 30. That's down 1.5%. And the Russell 2000 is down almost 3%. The Russell 2000, it has MicroStrategy, who the CEO is Michael Saylor, and that is one of the biggest Bitcoin bulls in the traditional space, and he has positioned his company to have some of the largest Bitcoin holdings in the world. And you have Kathy Wood with ARK Investment, and she comes in at a second runner there with a major holding in Bitcoin with her company also. So I love the idea that they're still holding on. You don't hear either one of those people sitting there saying they're selling, because they're looking at the long game on this one. So the Russell 2000 is also the Russell 2000, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, the S&P. These are a basket of goods that you're buying into. So just kind of keep it in mind on that one. S&P 500 is just trading just under $4,000 per stock option on that one. But the dollar index is definitely getting slaughtered today. It has taken almost a $3 haircut from its trading pairs. So it is like way down overall. Stocks, they're not all the stocks are doing that good. Apple down almost a full point. AMD is up 1 3/4. Amazon is down almost 2%. We should still see Amazon start trending down a little bit as since not everything is being purchased exclusively online now, since the restrictions of movement is lifted here in the United States. Totally foreseeable. Tesla being down 3 1/4%. That's to be foreseen since basically the government is waging war against Elon Musk now. Hilarious. Netflix is down almost 4%. Go woke, go broke. Meta is down just a little over 1%, guys. Crypto, we're taking, if Bitcoin's doing bad, everything's doing bad. So the crypto market in general took a just a little over 3 1/4% haircut off the complete market cap. We have Bitcoin down, in total about just a little over 3 1/4%. Ethereum's down a little over 4 1/4. Binance to USD is down 4%. Avalanche down almost 5%. It's like 4 3/4%. Uniswap 6.5%, damn near. So I mean, Bitcoin's doing bad. So is everything else. If anybody were to sit there and tell me that there's a X altcoin that can outperform Bitcoin, still waiting. Just saying. Forex, stay out of this. This is basically if you're looking at how the other markets are doing in general, and if you see this, that we are basically break even with other countries at this point. We are not trading any better or any worse than any other country. So you can tell that they're all doing this. So this is a bad sign, right? Forex market, gold stocks, up almost 0.5%. It did tickle that $20,000, almost that $20,000 per ounce of gold here. Silver is up almost 1 1/4%. Crude oil is going to do very well whenever dollars are bad. Energy is expensive, period. Natural gas, it's always been kind of a crappy market for them. They kind of come up and down, fluctuate all over the place. Just the kind of the way the market is. So as some of the country is now coming off of peak fuel usage, so heating your home, right? Depending on where you're at, you might already be seeing higher temperatures, and now maybe you're only turning on your heat during the night, right? So it's natural to see as we come in the spring and summer that the natural gas stock prices will come down. You could look at that as an arbitrage position if you wanted to. And then during the bottom of their market, which be during the summertime where people are barbecuing and stuff like that, you might be able to capitalize on that. But you're going to watch this stuff flip-flop back and forth like in real time here. Natural gas is now up 2 1/4%. It was just down 7% just a second ago. That's how quickly the turnaround is on natural gas. It's a really weird market. I've watched this and I don't understand how people trade it. People who are either smarter than me can trade this, or they have like a computer program that helps arbitrage it a little bit faster for them. Is the only way that I can sit there and think about how to do that. Corn's up 0.5%. Got that regular corn, and then you got that Bitcoin. Is now showing being a little bit on that positive side still. according to, again, this is the futures market. So this is not your open market. These are people speculating on the future price of these items. This is gambling at its finest. So if you wanted to be able to get into like the Bitcoin futures, like Grayscale Bitcoin, I would have done that probably a few months ago if I was trying to get into the futures market. I pretty much stay away from it just because it is gambling on, future prices of things. You can lose your tail off very quickly. Bonds. We're now starting to see the 10-year bond on the U.S. starting to yield a whole lot less now. We are damn near break even on the 10-year Treasury yield, which means this is gonna negatively affect banks, guys. Something like that will hit the banks because as they don't hold on to cash reserves anymore. We don't have fractional reserve banking since COVID. They got rid of that, so we now have unlimited money printing. So in order for these smaller branch banks to be able to get cash now, they have to sell one of their treasury bonds in order to get that liquid cash. That's why if you ever want to sit there and get a large sum of money, they have to either get a hold of their main branch to see if they have it there, or you have to wait until the main branch sells another treasury bond to accumulate some more cash reserves. As the yields go down, we're going to see them have more of a banking crisis behind them because of the fact that if they're not making enough money on these bonds, the interest rate had flatlined and they were giving out sweetheart interest rate deals to everybody. If we come up too high, we're going to be well above the point of where these banks can handle it because they're not even making profit because they're underwater now. Like my own house. Interest rates is now 5%. I'm at like 3.25% on my house. They're no longer making money with my loan. Now, I'm almost done with my house loan, thank God. Me and the wife have busted our butt, and she's had this house for a long time. I came in, helped her out where I could. So, we've busted our tail off to almost have the house paid off. But that means our bank is no longer making any money. So what happens when the bank that we're with has a financial crisis? Is the government going to bail them out? Or is my loan going to be sold off to another company? And during that sell-off process, will I have to renegotiate my loan agreement? I have no idea how that even remotely works. You know what I'm saying? Or is it just that it's the bank just goes belly up and now I own the house? That would be baller. Oh my God, that'd be so baller. I doubt that I could get so lucky on something like that. But we're starting to see, returns that are really just kind of out of control, flatlining on these treasury bonds. The one that you should you want to see one that looks like a market that's about to implode. If you're going to look at a treasury and you want to sit there and tell me, hey, look, which one of these looks like it's going to blow up? Which market is not like the rest? If you guys want to sit there and answer the Japan 10-year yield at almost a little over 34% yield, they're giving you over 34% return to own a 10-year treasury bond. Tell me which market's gonna blow up here next. What up, Crypto Craig? So we're looking at Japan here going, that market looks like it's about to have a meltdown. What are they going to do about this? Japan has been sitting there and doing full market control since the 80s. Japan has been a zombie economy since the 80s. It is absolutely flatlined. Japan owns most of Japan. The country itself owns the means of production. It's like, yes, they brought stability during the late 80s when the U.S. U.S. kind of played a dirty little game with Japan, and it crushed Japan's economy. Japan's economy was booming. And I forget what year it was, but we withheld our payment just a few extra days, knowing that Japan was in impossible default on one of their loans. And we paid the day after that loan was due, and it crushed Japan's economy, completely crushed it, and it's never recovered because Japan, the government became the buyer of last resort. They had no choice at that point. The U.S. had blown up their economy, and it looks like this might be the setup for another economy about ready to blow up again. So I'm curious to see where the banks are going to sit in Japan. We are looking at a complete credit crisis when you look at all of this, because who owns these bonds? Banks, governments, and foolish investors. Let me just point that out. Banks, governments, and foolish investors. Pension funds will have this garbage in there. This is how they start stealing the pension funds from the people. This is how, because you're basically they have garbage assets in the pensions, toxic assets. Bonds are not good in any portfolio. That's why I recommend Bitcoin only, but this is not financial advice, right? So, going on to the Bitcoin chart now. I told you that looked like Bitcoin was rolling over just a little bit here. Told you guys, I've been watching this. I'm like, man, it looks like it might be just kind of cooling off here. It looks like it, we go into that spinning top, that doji here, that last, this is today. We are in that doji candle right now. So we have market indecision right now. So as long as we're not followed up by a reversal hammer, even if it reversals right here, I don't think it's going to come down that far. I think it's people taking profit at these levels. I don't think there's any real way to get the market to push down to, like, let's say $20,000 as quickly as people might think, because there's a lot of longs that are basically ready to get. If we hit 20,000, there's a bunch of longs that'll get liquidated, and that'll push the price down even further. So you'll have people trying to cover their positions in order to try to fight the liquidation. Maybe they arbitraged it the other way, so it's a washout. And if they can wash it out, they're going to do good. But I think that we're going to trade sideways a little bit from here. It's just kind of how it feels like. We're just kind of setting up to make our way up to that $30,000 mark. I think that by summertime, like I'm saying, we should. The market, all the market metrics are pointing that we should hit 30,000 by summer. So if you guys go with that aspect, we should be in a good position. There are people that will think the other way, all that FUD and all that good stuff, but I'm still bullish. I will always be bullish. So, yes, there is always that sign. It depends on what the next couple of days worth of candles come in. That's why I don't do the day trading. I wait a couple of days, maybe a week, and then I'm like, yep, I think I'm gonna buy now. I'm just sitting there saying what I did. It's like I bought here close, bought a little bit of that sweet busy Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin was right at that $20,000 marker during the last dip, and I did it live on DCA Adventures. So it's like, I'm pretty good if I see a few days worth of movement. It's a lot easier to call where the market's moving at, because you have more data. That's all it is. More data means a more accurate guess, and that's what it is at the end of the day. Guess. It's a 50-50 shot. I think it's going to go up tomorrow, and it goes down. Oh, I lost. It's a flip of a coin sometimes. What up, Sadie? what's going on? What's up, Sarth? Dropping that FA. Yeah, what's going on, peeps? All you happy hashers, you guys rock. Smash that lizardy like button for all this pure alpha knowledge here. Yo. So I mean, we're definitely, setting up. I mean, I'm hoping we're going to trade sideways here. That's where I'm thinking we can sit there and take a little pause, let the market gain a little bit more momentum, and then see if we can reach up to the upside a little bit more. I don't think that we are totally fizzled out on market upside movement. We did have the Federal Reserve not go into quantitative easing. Now, had Jerome Powell said that he would be pausing the interest rate hikes, I think that would have gave Bitcoin an immediate leg up. If Jerome Powell drops it by a quarter percent, we'll see Bitcoin rise again. So basically, Jerome Powell just put the interest rates up to 5%. Yeah. We'll see what that does to the market. And then, guys, of course, I love this. If you guys have never checked this out, it's called the USDebtClock.org. This tracks in real time the debt cycle here, guys. So, yeah, I mean, it's tracking everything. The U.S. national debt going up in real time. Debt per taxpayer is almost $2,500 per taxpayer. Almost $95,000 per citizen. That's here. So, if you can get enough citizens here in the country legally, or in Biden's case, illegally, you can actually get this to where if everybody paid $2, you could pay the debt. I mean, sheer volume, right? If everybody's here and you have debt per citizen go down to $1, $2, take my money, reset it, now get everybody out. I mean, that's basically what it would. I mean, I don't even know how many people that would take to actually wash out that much debt. Considering that we're at, 334 million people here? A little over 304 million people in the United States, in the U.S. population. Workforce is only 161 million out of that total is an actual workforce. So, I mean, that's why its debt per taxpayer is so much higher than debt per citizen. Because debt per citizen takes in the consensus of every single person stepping foot on this soil that's calling this place residency. So, scaling is the key. I know, right? It's like I would gladly pay $5 if they'd actually clear the debt. I know, right, Golden? But how much would you be willing to destroy the country in the process? Because in order to run those numbers, we would have to more than triple the amount of people here in the United States. I mean, think about it, right? I mean, how many people would it actually take to really... And then you're talking about, as you start adding people in, you start gobbling up resources. And the only way to let the resources get gobbled up is if all of a sudden you're starting to build everything as mega super dense cities and build up that way. Which means bye-bye farmland, because there's not enough land on the United States to have food resources plus the amount of people it would need to drop the debt down to even $5. That would be just the most insane thing. There would be no usable land. So where the hell are you going to work? What are you going to work for? You'll own nothing and be happy because the U.S. becomes this de facto, I don't even understand how that would even work. If you're not even a producer at that point. How do you tax moving forward the production value of zero? So, I mean, you're basically, in order to run the debt cycle down like that, you have to destroy the country. Look at California. There's not enough people. There's not enough housing for the people. As the people became more dense in California, housing prices went through the roof, and then it became a luxury, a privilege to be able to live in California. You know, you don't have to be able to drive to the ocean in your own state. Anywhere you live in the state, be able to drive easily to the ocean. It's like, it's kind of ridiculous on what they think they're gonna be able to achieve by flooding the market with more people. I get it. It's more tax-paying people if you can make them all legal, right? And the debt per taxpayer goes down. I get it. I get the numbers they're trying to run there, but in order to run the numbers the way that they think that's going to happen, you're talking about the U.S. population has to astronomically raise to get the debt per citizen down. Only way. And then maybe the debt per taxpayer will be around, $10 per person. If you can get the debt per citizen down to $1. But it's like no jobs, no the currency would be garbage because there would be no value being produced out of the country to be of any significance unless everybody just works for the government moving forward. Don't know how you're going to sit there and put food on your table unless it's going to be the cricket brigade and we're going to eat thy bugs and be happy, right? But again, that's just not something I don't think is economically feasible long term. I don't care how anybody wants to slice or dice it. What they're doing is just kind of odd by trying to flood the market with more workers. Considering also, and it's even funnier that unemployment rate has been staying pretty stagnant. I have to admit, the unemployment rate has absolutely stayed stagnant. So this would be a very interesting metric to see whenever more of these banks start blowing up and the FDIC insurance can't cover it, because basically with these bailouts they just bailed out the rich again. The rich, we just witnessed the rich get more bailouts. Normal people don't bank at Silicon Valley Bank. That is multi-million-dollar companies that bank there. The mega rich just got a bailout. I'm curious to see if that was an orchestrated bank run to force this to happen, or did somebody catch wind of something and it created a panic, a run on the bank, and they had to lock the system down really fast in order to preserve itself and the rest of its holding. Because it can, as people pull out their money, they can't sit there and sell enough bonds to be able to cover the spread. So this is going to be a horrible thing moving forward for a lot of these banks. Of course, this is, as I was alluding to earlier, this is accordance to the Federal Reserve also hiking up interest rates by a quarter of a point. So a quarter of a percent raise. So we are now at 5% interest rate. This should set off a little chain of reactions with some banks here. We'll see if the government is going to be so keen on making sure FDIC insurance covers all depositors the same way that they just did the elites. My guess is going to be not without printing some money. That, oh yeah, we're not taking it from the taxpayer, but you're doing it through silent taxes that you don't have to pass a tax rate onto, which is going to be more money printing in order to make sure that the banks don't fail. They're too big to fail at this point, I guess. This is why Bitcoin only, guys. I would not trust my life savings in Bitcoin in the slightest. I mean, over Bitcoin. I mean, I wouldn't trust my life savings over Bitcoin in any other asset class. Bitcoin, for me, is the asset class that I would be the only one I'm trusting in. With that being said, they are going to come after Bitcoin, and they're coming after it with the CBDC. But it's not going to be until they, they're going to basically run this stuff up, and I think they're trying to collapse the banking industry. So more than 186 banks, U.S. banks, are well positioned for a collapse. Silicon Bank analysis reveals rising interest rates, which brought down the U.S. banking system asset market value by $2 trillion combined with a larger share of unregistered deposits in some banks, threaten banks' stability once again, guys. The perfect mix of losses, uninsured leverage, and extensive loan portfolios, among other factors, resulted in the fall of Silicon Valley Bank. Comparing Silicon Valley Bank situation with other players reveals that nearly 190 banks operating in the United States are posed potentially at the same risk of a run. In other words, crypto has nothing to do with this. Even though the government wants to sit there and say it's Bitcoin's fault here, it's the cryptocurrency's fault. And as much as I'd like to dog on cryptocurrency and not Bitcoin, of course, right? I'm going to sit there and say it's not the cryptocurrency's fault either that have their money wrapped up into these banks. It has nothing to do with them. If nothing fundamentally changed with those cryptocurrencies other than the bank collapse, then we can sit there and say that the loss of monetary value in those cryptocurrencies were a direct tie-in to the centralized entity that they are tied into, which shows you how centralized a lot of those tokens really are, and why I constantly sit there and say it's Bitcoin or nothing, because Bitcoin is not tied into these banks. It is the solution to these banks, right? It is not tied into these banks in any way, shape, or form. The only risk you have is not being into Bitcoin at the level that you should. I mean, I think that everybody should have a full Bitcoin. I'm not giving you guys financial advice in any way, shape, or form, but this is stuff that I would be, recommending to all of my friends and stuff like that. But, it's a recommendation, not telling you guys what to do. Just saying what I do. So situations with other players revealed that, 190 other banks operating or, like I said, are at the risk of a run. So, and what's going to happen is you could be at a bigger bank, a state bank, whatever state Bank of Ohio, State Bank of Illinois, State Bank of Texas, whatever. They're all at risk. They have the same dirty bonds on their books, and they're all overextended. They do not have fractional reserves. That's what's killing them. They don't have the cash on hand. It works great when you have cash on hand, but they have been gambling since the pandemic with your deposits. When you deposit your cash in a bank, it becomes under the management of the bank. In other words, South Park was right. You put your money in, and it's gone. That's basically what they're saying that they just did to you guys. And if you think that this is not going to be impacting us in any way, shape, or form, there's not enough money in FDIC insurance to fully cover this big tech bailout with $1 million assets. It's ridiculous of what they're covering right now. But at the same time, are they really covering it? Let's see the people move their money. Let's actually see that. Because if the money never moves, did they really cover it? The illusion that they covered it because they said they covered it. But as long as nobody moves that money out of the banking system, they don't have to worry about covering it. So, it's like that whole thing with what we do with the exchanges in Bitcoin, where, We pull out all of our crypto on the exchange. I do this every year because I don't leave any Bitcoin I don't leave crypto on the exchanges, period. That's just a setup for absolute disaster. So if everybody were to stress test out the banks and go, I'd like to have all of my money out, please. And everybody did it at the same time. Yes, that's considered a bank run right there. But they should be able to cover your money. It's not theirs. If you want to sit there and withdraw it, you should be able to withdraw it. And the bank with the bank investors should be the ones that have to suffer for that. But nope, we're going to have some market manipulation here. And we're going to see some banks that are going to have some huge issues. I mean, some huge issues. And we're going to start watching some of these like pension funds even looking at some of the stuff and going, this is toxic. And we're seeing Swedish pension funds, Electa dumps its first Republic Bank shares after price plummets. And this bad boy not only plummeted, it like dropped like an absolute rock, guys. Elteca took a $728 million loss on the first sale of Republic shares. That came to a top of roughly 86.2 million Electa had in oh my god, that they had in Silicon Valley Bank, and 310 million that they had in Signature Bank before their closures. Oh my god. Wow. They got hammered. Wow. I didn't even read that part. Holy cow. They absolutely got a bloodbath. They tried to sell the Republic Bank, trying to recover something, and they still took a haircut. Wow. This is going to teach people Bitcoin, not banks. But hopefully this doesn't start to push everybody into the CBDC. That's the last thing we really want to see people getting hit into. And this is First Republic Bank. So they were at $15.46. By 4 o'clock, they were down at $13.16. For a bank to make that big of a move, that is huge, guys. So they are sitting at $13.33. This Swedish fund took a nasty haircut, guys. A nasty haircut. Wow. So we're going to see more of this. And pension funds are going to get slaughtered here moving forward. I'm curious to see how much the pension funds here in the United States are holding in these horrible bank stocks. Because Biden and the Federal Reserve have both publicly stated that the banks will not be bailed out. It will be the depositors. And that the investors knew what they were getting into beforehand and are gonna take the brunt of this. So if you had a pension fund that was wrapped up into this, your pension fund just took a haircut. This is bad. And it doesn't even matter what country you're in. It doesn't matter. If you got a pension fund and you're wrapped up into this stuff, like you got pension funds at all, double check to see where they're invested into, guys. If you're able to move that stuff around, I would probably try to get your pension out of the banking stuff. I don't know how pensions really work. I think you're locked into what they choose with the pensions, because it's like a basket of stuff that you get to invest in, and it's horrible right now if they're in any of these bank shares. Because I don't know about you, I don't trust them. I mean, that's just pure how it is. It's just how it's going to be. And then just to kind of do this last little one here, U.S. government attacks Bitcoin in a new promote while reporting Bump. CBDC. Yeah. Yep. That's happening, boys and girls. That is happening 100%. They're going to be looking at attacking that sweet, busy Bitcoin and trying to issue in the CBDC coin, guys. So Biden has released in a government economic report on Monday in which Bitcoin played a major role. It was mentioned a whole buttload of times, which attempted to generate Bitcoin and promote the central bank digital currency of the United States as a better solution. Exactly. They want to have their nice, better solution of surveillance coin. That's basically what they're looking at. And thankfully, we have a few governors out there and a few senators that are pushing back on that idea. I'm hoping that there are more people that'll get on board with that and push back on that CBDC. So depending on what state you guys are in, try to pressure your local politicians to stand up against the CBDC coin and say no to having surveillance tokens in that you are being forced to utilize in the United States. This will usher in tax credits here, and that means they're going to be able to turn your money on and off like a light switch. You said something bad, $10 deduction. You swore, $10 deduction. They made movies about this a long time ago, where all you had to do is just walk around and just randomly swear, and you'd get a violation of the speech code, because there's no more free speech. There's no free speech if you are enslaved to the money. So just kind of think of it that way too. We do not want to have it to where they know every time that we buy a cup of coffee, or if I pay the kid down the street to mow my lawn. The government has no right to know that there's a kid in my neighborhood that's trying to make an extra $20 here and there a day by mowing a couple of lawns on the weekend. We need to teach kids to be able to do that as to be young entrepreneurs. And with a surveillance coin in your pocket, you're not going to be able to do that. It'll be a taxable event. They will start robbing the kids. I'm telling you guys, they will start robbing the kids. So, I mean, anywhere where you guys are, definitely get into your local. I mean, I hate to bring politics into it. You guys know this. Trying to keep it off this channel. But this one is more of, if you want to prevent a CBDC coin from being issued, you need to start talking to your local politicians. Get involved with them on this topic. I know it sounds stupid and trivial, but if there's enough people out there that can make enough noise about this topic, there is a small chance that we, the people, can make enough noise that they listen to us and back down. So just kind of, if you can, guys, try to do that. Grandpa and I thought you said, pay me 25 cents, and why did 11 only show up? Why did only 11? Exactly. It's like, Grandpa pays his grandchild, 25 cents, and only 11 cents gets to the kid. They're instantaneous tax because of money transfer. It is now a money transfer tax. So they get their fair share of taxes. It's just instantaneous because they've got it coded into their private blockchain that has an infinite supply of CBDC behind it that has absolutely no value. Like, my cats work by catching mice. Will they be taxed? You might, man. I mean, they're catching food. That's a production tax, bro. Demolition Man. Rat burgers. I'm just saying. There'll be no cows in the future. It'll be rat burgers. So that mouse is economic growth. Just saying. Oh, that's too funny. I mean, that's basically how it's going to go. They're going to try to tax all means of production. Welcome to being a slave. The exact thing that our forefathers were trying to fight against was this exact tyranny. And what's beautiful about that tyranny, guys, what's beautiful about it is that they don't realize that our founding forefathers put into the Constitution the means to get rid of this. We're a rebel country. Why are we being so complicit? I mean, it's constitutionally protected that if we have an out-of-control government, that we can put in a more justified government that'll be better and bring it back to center. But, people don't want to get involved with it. They don't want to have a quote-unquote civil war. So they'll just sit by idly, and while the majority of people watch World War III happen. Either way, we'll be involved. I mean, that's just kind of that's gonna be how the economics of this is gonna boil down to, long term, right? So if we don't start standing up to the government and with their extensive overreach, a CBDC coin, no. Corruption in the government, no. Taking away freedoms and rights, no. I would rather sit there and have dangerous freedoms than a peaceful slavery. And they're trying to force us into peaceful slavery. And I like owning things. And if I don't own things, I will not be happy. I work hard for my things. It's like a little trophy when I own something cool. I'm like, oh yeah, I worked my butt off and I got this. This is my means of reward. You take away the means of reward, you have nothing. So I hope everybody learned a little something here, and kind of understand moving forward where a lot of these markets are going to be going to. The government's going to continuously print money. They're going to bail out all these banks. Don't be mixing any words with it. They're going to say they're not, but they're going to. Because if you sit there and you bail out all the depositors, you're basically telling each one of these banks that they have an endless, anytime money comes in, they can gamble it off. It's like sitting there and going up to the street corner with a area full of heroin addicts and going, free heroin, and you'll have every heroin addict in the next 5 square miles coming to grab some free heroin. That's the banking system, and the government's the dope dealer. So, I mean, we need to make sure. He's like, nice hat, added team solo mining now for easy mining. Oh, wow. Too funny. Not that I'm going to utilize Nice Hack, but that's an interesting feature. I haven't used my Nice Hack in ages. Oh my god. It's been so long since I used any kind of that a Bitcoin on mining on there. Like I remember when they got hacked, so yeah, I try not to utilize them too often. But it's interesting that they got solo mining. I mean, it's nice that they're able to do that, but I don't see how that would. Oh, that'll make it easier for. Oh, so that would almost make it easier for them to 51% a crappier coin, I think. Possibly. I don't know. Never tried doing that before. Maybe somebody who's understands how the node setup works a little bit better on some of these coins, be smarter than me, and that can come on here and explain that to everybody here, and like blow all of our minds if they have a strong understanding of actually like setting up nodes and how you can actually obfuscate your mining power, and then at the last moment submit it and build the chain bigger than the chain actually is, and then you become the dominant chain because you're the longest chain. I don't need to know how you code that in, but I'd like to have it like kind of in simpler terms, have a better understanding of how that actually is being implemented through the wallets, and how they're able to manipulate that without the rest of the network not invalidating that wallet when it's trying to connect as not being the correct chain. How can one wallet influence it that hard? It's just a question. I understand some of it. I understand the basics of it for the most part, but somebody that can explain it on a little bit of a higher level, fill in some of the gaps, even what I have, would be interesting. And then they'd be able to school all of you that have no understanding of how a true 51% attack may actually occur. So just in case any of you guys are watching that don't understand people talking about a 51% attack, but what does that mean, and how does it get incorporated into the blockchain? I can do a lot of that in explanation, but it's always nicer to have somebody who's a higher level coder than me that has a better understanding, of course. So thank you everybody for being here. So if you got any comments or questions, now is definitely the time to ask before I sign up out of here at that 1 hour marker, guys. Yo. And if you don't have any other comments or questions, there's 11 amazing people in here. Thank you all. Certainly smash that Lizzie like button and drop an FA in the Chizity chat, guys. Everybody drop those FAs. There are 11 amazing people here. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and get up out of here. And I hope you guys, if you guys didn't watch, did you guys watch my my little short that I made earlier today? I thought it was pretty pimp. Definitely, if you watched my little short from earlier, FA in the chat if you like that. That thing took me like a whole buttload of times to get that to finally like do what I wanted to do, because I felt like a bumbling idiot trying to move around. And I was like tripping over stuff myself. Trying to keep the camera, my phone as steady as possible as I was like moving, and it was like I was damn near tripping over myself. So if you didn't watch it, go ahead and go watch my little short. It's a minute long. It's got some cool music, but go ahead and give it a watch. I'm just saying, it's cool. And I kind of show off the rigs that I got here. No voices on there. It's just music and rigs. What else you need, guys, right? FA and a Chizity chat for that one, right? Yo, definitely smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. I'd love to have you guys, if you haven't done so already, links down below. Join the Discord. Love to have you be a part of the Discord. It is free to join. If you guys are wanting to have me and Mikkel host your mining gear over at the Family Mine, definitely get into the Patreon. Links down below. Get into the Pseudo Hasher tier so that you can get your VIP access. The Pseudo Hasher tier is where the VIP access is at. And it also comes with a couple of perks in there. One of which, I can tell you right off the bat, is I've got already configured for you 0 dev fee on XM Rig if you are mining in Windows, or for Linux or Simple Miner OS, it'll work in also. Nowhere else will it work. So that's one thing. The other thing, you have to join in order to find out. But it's part of the VIP experience. Just saying. Part of that VIP experience. Did I get Chunkins yet? Wrong button. No, I have not. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So I am getting prepped and everything. I have the chicken coop already put up, built. As you guys would have watched on my video already that I dropped, I hope you liked that one too. It's pretty cool doing the video editing on that one, time lapsing it really quickly with some good music. But I gotta make a chicken run for it to extend it out a little bit. He's like, Barbies are full size. Mother clucker. Yep, I'm a mother clucker. I'm gonna be getting babies, so they're gonna start off as little chicks. I'm gonna raise them up from chicks. So I will be doing a full vlog setup on that. So I'll be trying to do like maybe 10, 20-minute video vlog style updates on the chickens. So if you guys enjoy watching some chunkins, certainly stay tuned with that. I will be doing thinking like weekly updates on the chunkins, like a 10 to 20-minute video, unless there's something big that I'm doing. Then it might be a little bit longer, maybe. But I'd like to keep this more into like vlog status. Just kind of get some information out there about what I'm doing, updates on that, and then good to go. So you guys will come along for the ride. I hope you guys enjoy it. Chickens are funny, dude. I'm just saying. So I've got a video that I've got to edit here. I did video today, man. I must have had to do a whole bunch of takes on this to get it right, because for whatever reason, live, I'm pretty good about not consistently using the word right? You know, that's the stuff that I try to avoid while I'm live streaming. I don't know why it's ingrained to try to understand that I need to not use little spacer words. I could sit there and pause for a moment, but I can sit, and not have to use but man, I hit record. I couldn't sit there and keep my thought pattern straight about exactly what I had to do. I had to write it down of boom, 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 boom of what I wanted to get my brain to stop saying the word So I will be dropping a video here. I just got to finish editing that. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish editing that tonight or get it, because I'd like to get it out tomorrow, really. Little vlog status update. It's been a little while since I've done anything, so it's just it's you'll have to watch it. You'll have to watch it in order to find out. Yo. So with that being said, thank you everybody for being here. All that good stuff. Peace out. Stay savage. And I'll see you on the next one.